The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.
And welcome back. Ireland gears up to play England in the Six Nations today, so of course we're using it as an excuse to have dessert for breakfast.
Yes, indeed. Krissy Gibson from Take the Cake joins us now with her twist on a traditional English bread and butter pudding. Good morning, Krissy.
In fairness, good morning. Give credit where
Krissy.
credit's due. It's not mine.
Okay.
The twist isn't English, however.
Oh.
It comes from Ina Gardner, the Barefoot Contessa. Have you heard of her?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the
So-
queen of the food channel.
If we're making bread and butter pudding, why not just use a really buttery bread?
Well,
Why not?
So we're
been
using
saying it for years.
croissant, or as I would say, croissants.
croissants.
Likewise, yeah.
And
Croissants.
yeah, so I made a version today without raisins for himself.
Lord Delaney.
And yes, my lord.
I was just want to ask
no
Krissy
raisins.
what this red stuff was in the plate. It's fruit, apparently. I
And
heard of that.
Krissy, during the ad
Fresh
break,
berries there.
told him what it was, just in case he actually didn't know that it's...
How do we make it, Krissy?
Oh, guys. 3 eggs, Simon.
Yes,
3 eggs.
3
We're going to
eggs.
start with 3 eggs and 8 egg yolks, okay? We're making a custard, and this is a great way to thicken up your custard and make it good and rich. Okay. So here we have 8 egg yolks and 3 eggs. We're going to add 320 grams of sugar. I always use castor sugar because I find that it melts really nicely. And then 10 mils of vanilla. Now, I use vanilla extract. I do not use vanilla essence. You'll get a much nicer flavor of vanilla off of that. Now, this recipe is not for those that are lactose intolerant. We're using 600 mils of full-fat milk,
Okay.
plus 600 mils of full-fat cream.
Wow.
Okay?
Baby, happy birthday to us.
I know, right? It is World Happiness
This is
Day,
calorific,
isn't
but
it?
it is World Happiness Day, Krissy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So a little bit calorific. We're going to set this aside now. We've got our custard ready. Not a lot of work there. Very low maintenance. We're going to set this aside, and now we take our croissants, our croissants, and we are slicing them right down the middle, horizontally. You see how I do this? By the way, don't use fresh croissant because they're going to be too soft.
They won't
and
cut.
Yeah.
they'll fall
Yeah.
apart in the pan. So actually, I baked these, what's today? Saturday. I baked these on Thursday. Let them sit.
You make your own croissants.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now listen,
Wow.
you want stale ones though, okay? So you're going to lay them out in the pan, actually leave the top off. We're laying them out in the pan, starting with the bottoms, okay? We're using the bottoms of the croissant.
So 2 days is enough if you make them?
Sure, a day is enough.
Okay.
Just don't go using fresh ones. You know, stale ones is better. Let them sit out for, gosh, at least a few hours. So what I'm doing here is I'm filling my pan. I've got a greased pan. I just sprayed it with safflower oil, and you can also use butter if you want, but use a greased pan. And these are raisins. Now, some people who shall remain nameless don't care for raisins. I've made here a version with rum-soaked raisins, which is gorgeous. But
And
you know
you're not
what's
getting any?
You can have more of it, my friend.
alternative? If you use dried cherries.
Oh.
Dried cherries in this bread pudding instead of raisins is lovely. So if you can get your hands on those, try that.
And best of luck
So
to you.
now we're taking our raisins, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one. We're using 6 croissants. And we're just taking our raisins, about a cup of them, that's 150 grams, and we're lining the tops of the bread with our raisins or dried cherries, whatever you choose to
Could
use.
you replace the cherries and dried fruit with potentially the chips of the chocolate variety?
Oh, Simon, if I had €1 for
every time I ask you that.
me, if I could
You'd
use
be a
chocolate
rich
chips
girl.
and something, Aiden, I'd be loaded.
Jeez, I'm stuck in the middle of this. I should leave.
I tell you what,
Domestic in the kitchen.
But it's a
and
serious
to
question.
answer your question, yes,
There you go,
could.
you see?
Pan au chocolat, but I knew he was going to ask it. You see, he's so predictable. So here we go with our raisins, or chocolate chips,
yes,
or
or
dried
both.
cherries, or rum-soaked raisins, which we have in here.
Yes.
If you do decide, by the way, to use rum-soaked raisins, soak them overnight.
Okay.
And then drain them and then put them in. Okay, so we're all set. Now we just take our custard and very gently, oh, I forgot the most important part.
Oh.
This is a bain-marie. You see, I have my pan inside of another pan, a bigger one. They're both going to fit in the oven, so I'm not going to pick a pan that's too big for the oven. But in this bottom pan, I've put an inch of hot water from the kettle, all right? And this is how we build our bain-marie. It's actually not too complicated, and it's nothing to be afraid of. Just put you're going to build your pudding inside of your bain-marie. So you've got your hot pan of water on the bottom, just about an inch of water. Not too much water now, because you know what you don't want happening? You don't want the water to bubble over into the pudding, okay? We're going to cover the tops of our croissant with the tops, we're going to cover the raisins with the tops of the croissants, okay? So now we've got it all set, and we're going to finish pouring our custard over the top. And you will find that these lightweight pieces of bread will start to float. They'll start to float to the top, and that's okay. That's to be expected.
But then they'll eventually soak all that lovely custard up, won't they?
Yeah, you let it sit actually for 10 full minutes, okay? And you go ahead and you press them down, okay? You can do this for a couple of minutes if you don't mind, just giving it a couple minutes of your time. Just press it down and let your bread soak up all that wonderful custard, okay? After 10 minutes, we cover loosely our bain-marie with foil, okay? And you don't want to press it down. You want it to sort of tent over the top, okay? This is not that complicated. You take a sharp knife and you poke a few holes in the top. This will allow the steam to escape, okay? You're going to bake that at 160 for 45 minutes.
That's nice and low, 160, yeah.
If you've got a cool oven, we have a bit of a cool oven here. You could go a little higher. My oven at the bakery is pretty hot, so I don't go hotter than 160. But you're going to bake that at 160 for 45 minutes and then remove that foil.
All right.
Bake it for another 45 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay? So it stays in there for a good while, but when you're done, here's one that I just took out of the oven. And when you're done, you will have a nice, firm pudding. Let's take this out of the hot
So it's an hour and a half cooking time all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
cool.
So, that's why I got such an early start on the oven this morning. Isn't that beautiful? Now, this one has the rum-soaked raisins. Yours, go ahead and give it a taste.
Okay,
that
then.
has no raisins at all because Simon is precious.
So I lose out.
Ray, hey, listen, I'm going to give
You've
you
got a
big
whole
old
tray
scoop
of that one there.
I'm going to give you a big old scoop of this when we're done.
Rum,
gee,
raisin,
thank you.
croissants
And
for
you've got a
Wednesday.
bit of cream there.
Don't really like
on
cream,
top if you'd
Krissy,
like.
but I'll give it a go.
This is also beautiful with ice cream.
For the sake of the viewers.
Oh, Krissy, you could be in the finest hotel in Paris eating that.
Isn't that
I had it
beautiful?
absolutely
But
gorgeous.
how simple was it, Aidan? We used, I think, 6 ingredients. It's totally simple.
Oh, the silence.
Well,
says it
Simon?
all.
Yes. Silence has descended in the studio as we taste.
The silence is a good sign to me.
It's rare.
Now, Simon, I know how you feel about warm desserts.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm just eating half it in 2 bites. So I'm
How long
okay with
do you
it.
leave it when you take it out, Krissy?
10 minutes.
10 minutes,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing as
That
always.
is
so glad you
beautiful,
like it, you
Krissy.
guys.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
you're so welcome.
Full recipe details are on our website, or as ever, Krissy's own website, takethecake.ie, has more of our recipes and stock.
So good. Right, up next, now I'll just lean that way slightly. How some small changes to your everyday habits can have a big effect on the planet. See you in a couple of minutes.
The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.